Hey guys, Neil with the Academy here. I have a short video. Well, I don't know if it's going to be short, but I have a video today to introduce you to the ASL Academy command post, something that I have been working on for months now. And I figured it's time that I push it out the door, even though it's never going to be in a completed state. It's always going to be modified, tweaked, updated, etc., depending on feedback and depending on how things are working or not working. I am releasing this so you guys can play with it. I don't know if anyone's going to play with it. I've had fun working on it and developing the different, what I'm calling modules over on the right, and there are more to come. But if I don't push it out now, it'll never get pushed out. I'll just keep tweaking it and meddling with it and having fun adding things, and it'll just languish in obscurity forever. So here it is, the ASL Academy command post. Uh, the first thing I want to mention is over on the right, there are two buttons that are very important, at least to me, is report a bug and about/feedback. If you have any feedback about anything you use on here or anything you potentially want added or changed, you can use this and fill out a form, attach a screenshot image if you have one or need one, and send the feedback. And I'll don't send bugs through this, just send me feedback on what you want to see, how things are working, and whatever. Now, if you find a bug, and most certainly there are bugs in here, go to report a bug and again, fill it out. Title, name, name's optional. Bug report, be specific, what you saw, and then what module it happens in, right? And then there is all the reported bugs you can view. Um, right now, there's a bug where I have not fully scrubbed the vehicle and gun database because of the automated merging of images and information isn't quite synced. So I need to go through and finish scrubbing the images that are showing up when you click on a vehicle. Um, so that'll show progress there. But if you add a bug, you'll see it here, and it'll either say open, in progress, I think, or closed are the three states that I have it at. Okay, pretty simple. So those are, and here's the button to report the bug once you fill out the form. Those are the two important things that I want to mention before I give you an overview. I'm not going to go into great detail on every module. I'm going to do videos on some of these modules, some of the more complicated or deeper ones. But this is just an overview of the ASL command post. And this is what it'll look like when you load. Okay, this is what I call the desktop or the workspace, whatever you want to call it. And you'll see the module window here. Okay, and there's a message of the day, blah blah blah. I'll just put updates in here. You can close that. And there's a desktop back here. And the reason I'm showing it, and you can maximize this window. Okay, and it'll kind of hide the desktop. The reason I have a desktop showing, or you can close it and see the desktop. I do have plans for this desktop. I'm going to do something with it. But for now, if you just want to maximize the window, you can and work fully like this, okay? But there is plans for the desktop, and you got the window here. Okay, so there are, I don't know, 10 modules here so far. Dice roller, charts, VASL tables, which a lot of people who play VASL are used to. VASL Notes, some people use it. VASL Stats, which is a new one. Routing flowchart, which needs some more work. Vehicle and guns needs some more database work. Board designer is looking pretty good so far. This is a pretty deep dive I'll have to do on board designer. Board sandbox is working really well. Our podcast is on here. Random selection show podcast. ASL TV, ASL television, kind of like a video channel. And again, report a bug and the about, which I already went over, and then scenario generator. I'll just show you what it looks like. This one's this one will be disabled when you load it. I'll have it disabled because it's not nearly ready for prime time. But I'll show it to you real quick here. Okay, let's go through these. So the dice roller, pretty simple. Roll dice. Yeah, nice roll. Yeah, starting with box cars. Roll dice. track your stats, enter a SAN, ELR, number of turns, phase. I'm going to add more to this, so you can use it actually as a game tracker on, say, a tablet. One another thing to mention: a lot of these things aren't mobile friendly yet. I imagine I will have a phone friendly version of the dice roller, so you can just do simple dice rolls. But a lot of this stuff you really can't do on a phone, and you'll see why when I show you the modules real quick. They are tablet friendly, and laptop friendly, and PC friendly, obviously. Okay, but not really mobile friendly. But this will track. It'll show you all your stats. Okay, your dice stats. You can do RNG method internal or random.org. You can do an auto mode for verifying the, I guess, statistical accuracy of the random RNG model. And if you just hit auto on and just let it run, this will turn into basically a rooftop distribution, which is a 2d6 distribution. A lot of people think the 2d6 distribution is a normal Gaussian normal bell curve, which is not true. It's a rooftop, angled rooftop distribution, not a normal distribution. Okay. So auto mode is just for verifying that, yep, this model in the long run, you do 1,000 rolls or whatever, it turns into an actual 2d6 distribution. Okay. So that's the dice roller. There's random selection here, different types of rolls you can make. Okay. And there's also a share session where you can share a session with a friend and you both see each other's rolls. Okay, I'm going to do a deep dive into this one later. Charts. All your ASL charts are here. Let me maximize the window here. All your ASL charts are here. Not all of them, a lot of them. So a lot of the ASL charts that are in my VASL extension, these are in the VASL extension. They're just here, so you could use them on a laptop or on a tablet. Playing remotely or playing at your desk or whatever. These are all custom. There's nothing here that's photocopied from MMP. These are all charts that I created uh, with spreadsheets and PowerPoint and PDF exporters and stuff. All custom charts. And so you got your quick charts here, and all you have to do is, click on, I'm on the infantry fire, like 2 kill, AP, armor piercing, APCR, APDS charts here. Now, it may look a little small on your screen, but there's 3 ways around that. So you can right click to zoom mode, okay? Or you can click it and it gets a little bigger and you can zoom mode it then. Or if you shift click, it'll expand the chart to full screen, as big as it can get. And you can still right click and zoom mode if you need even more zoom action, okay? Charts, very simple. I'm not going to do a deep dive video on this one. There's a lot of information in here, so a lot of charts. So just feel free to explore and play with it. If you need charts, if you're ever traveling somewhere and you're like, oh, I need a chart, it's right here. All the charts, all the base charts you need to do nearly anything in the game is in here. Okay. VASL Tables is being moved into this. It functions exactly the same. You fill it out to create a VASL setup, that looks like something like this over here. Okay. Same with, I'm not going to do a deep dive on this. There's already a video on my channel on how to use this. It functions exactly the same. It's just embedded within the command post now. Same with the VASL Notes. Some people have used this to create notes that you can put in your VASL setup. VASL Stats. Okay, this is a cool one. Let me grab a VASL file real quick just to show you without doing a deep dive. And I'll do a deep dive video on this later. But let me just load one VASL save file. Gotta find an old one. Okay, I found one. So if you do a log file, it has all the dice information in it, right? And I figured out how to parse that out fairly accurately. At least the numbers, so getting the nationalities to line up has been a little tricky. Sometimes it won't grab the nationalities out. But all you have to do is drag your log file from, I'm doing it from off screen here, from wherever you have it saved. Just drag it and drop it in this box, your log file, .vlog extension. Drop it in there. So this is for a big scenario we played from Lone Canuck Publishing. Big scenario, Steelworks, knock them down. Drag it in there, hit get stats. Boom. German, British, all your stats here, all the all the data. You can put your cursor over things. You can see distribution for both players. You can, in the main distribution, you can switch between different die rolls. Now this only works if you play, when you play VASL, you use the correct button for that type of die roll. If you just use one button for every die roll, this stats aren't going to be any interesting. So you have to, whenever you make an infantry fire table, you have to use the IFT button. If you use a two hit, you have to use two hit, right? And then you'll see these distributions and the data will look more interesting. Okay. Now there's also a moving average here. You can look at your moving average. It calculates a default moving average based on the number of dice you roll, but you can fiddle it. A simple moving average you can fiddle with this if you want. You can zoom in. Okay, I'll go deep dive on this one later. Okay, but this is a very cool module. If you're a data nerd, just drag your vlog file onto here. Let me grab another one. Let's see. If there's already one in there and you drop it, it'll ask if you want to replace it and hit replace. I think this is get stats. Yeah, Japanese, Chinese. So just like that. It's got your 2d6, 1d6, sniper, die rolls, etc. Okay, I'll do a deep dive on that later. Routing flowchart. Okay, this one's kind of cool too. So this is basically taking the the print PDF version of Bill Kohler's very in-depth routing flowchart for full ASL. A lot of this stuff doesn't apply to starter kit like surrender and prisoners and all that. And it basically translates it into an online tool. More of a learning thing than someone who a veteran player is not going to sit down and go through this flowchart, right? To say, okay, this unit, let's start with this unit. What does it need to do to route? Can it route? Where can it route? That kind of thing. This is more of a learning tool for people who are trying to figure routing out, or a reinforcement tool for people who haven't played for a while or just maybe need a little more help, because the routing rules can be a bit complex. Okay. So you just step through it. This needs more work. There are some trees that it goes down that maybe it might end, or it needs more information. But I'm still working on this. But the bones are here, so you can start it. It has tooltips here, interactive things with rule quotes. What's the definition of adjacent, etc. And it's start routing. Is a unit broken? Yep, let's go. Yeah, and again, there's more information with each of these steps. So yes, let's go. Is it under DM? Yes, it's already DM. Usually, yes, it's already DM. Do you want to route it? Yes, but let's figure out if it can route. I'm not sure. Help me figure out if it needs to route. Nah, it's not required to route. If you hit nah, it's not required to route, basically you're done with this unit. You start over. So yeah, let's figure out if it can route. Is unit locked in melee? Usually no. Check for surrender conditions. That's no quarters in effect. Choose unit's route destination, so it tells you what you need to choose. So then the path, blah blah blah, etc. Continue. Permissible destination. So did you find a path? Maybe yes. Let's see what happens if you hit no. Is routing currently adjacent to or in open ground hex? Let's say yes, it is. Make a surrender check. So here's a leg where I need to finish it out. Let's go back. I'm going too in depth. Let me go back. Let me hit no. So it's done. Okay. Then you can start running the next unit. Okay. I'll do an in-depth of this later as well. Maybe I'll work on it a little bit more. But this one's kind of cool too. Vehicles and guns. This is a biggie here. This has all the ASL nationality vehicles and guns that are MMP that are in the system. This doesn't have third party, some of the more obscure third party guns in it, but all the guns and vehicles and ordnance from MMP ASL system is in here. Um, so here there's a gun tab, a vehicle tab, and so you first thing you need to do if you try to do anything like select a vehicle type, you have to pick a nationality first, right? So let's just do. I think I scrubbed the Germans fully. Let's do German, and it'll show you there are 119 vehicles found of Germans. Okay, and you just pick one, and it'll show you all the information. Generate a kind of a description that may be mostly accurate depending on how obscure the vehicle is. Um, or you can pick another one. It'll give you the information. Or you can start sorting by, let's say we want all German vehicles with LLs. There are 7 of those vehicles. So you can sort by all these different things. I'm going to do a deep dive on this. Now, the other cool thing is you can create VASL snippets that look, this is an older picture, but it looks pretty much like this. So you can make VASL snippets to paste into VASL with one click. And it'll show you the pertinent vehicle information, what vehicle number it is in the historical listing or in chapter H, size, special ammo, smoke, special information that isn't necessarily on the counter, or maybe it's on the back of the counter, and how to easily look it up in chapter H. German vehicle 34, boom, and you can look it up real quick. But all you have to do is add snippet. Just hit add snippet. It'll add it down here. You can add another vehicle. So I got 2 vehicles. So if I hit copy HTML and paste this in the VASL, it'll do a little table of the vehicles, and I'll show that in the deep dive. I'm not going to show that now. Okay. Uh, you can close this. Let's go to guns, nationality. Let's pick, I don't know, Danish. There's one gun. There's a machine cannon 20 millimeter. Okay. Nope, no description for that. Let's pick, let's do American. American. Yeah, yeah, some of these images are broke right now. I need to fix those. So if you try to add a snippet and the nationality doesn't match what's currently loaded, it should give you a warning. You can't really mix nationalities. You have to make snippet blocks for the different nationalities. You can add guns of the same nationality and vehicles. You can mix guns as long as they're same nationality. You can mix guns and vehicles into one snippet. See here, I got artillery and 2 vehicles for Germans. Okay, that's it for the vehicles and guns. More of an information thing and a way to integrate more vehicle information into VASL without having to install another program. I forget what it's called, VASL templates, which can be a bit finicky sometimes. You don't have to do anything here. Just pick the vehicle you want and copy the HTML and paste it in. It'll work. And you don't have to worry about where the images are being hosted on my server. So you and your opponent will see that. Sometimes with VASL templates, if you don't set it up right, your opponent won't see the vehicle or gun images if you're using snippets. Here you will. Won't matter. It'll all work. Board designer. Okay, I've posted about this, and I'm going to do a really deep dive on this. This is basically a way for the average person who doesn't have special software or special graphic skills or the patience and time to figure all that out. I've done it for you, and I've created a board design module, essentially. I'm not going to design a board for you, but I'll show you 2 that I did do in here as a test once I got everything working. There's a public library, and like I said, I'm going to do a really deep dive on this. I'm just going to load one from the public library. I've done these 2. These are done on this tool, these 2 boards. So this is a full test board 1, done within the board design module. and I've loaded it from the public library. So you can save local, load local. You can export a board to VASL, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. So you can instantly start playing on a board that you have, or you can just export images, or you can share your board with the ASL Command Post library, which is what these two boards that I uploaded. Right? If you go to the library and you just click on, there's only two here now. Hopefully people will start adding their own if they're finished boards. And you can start modifying using someone's board as a baseline and start tweaking it if you want to do something different. And there's other things you can do. There's different styles. There's Fortenberry A, Fortenberry B. Custom is coming. DTO, I need to get working. Let me load this back up. And you can do things like bling it out. You can add shadow, a little text 3D look to it, or you can add hill outlines. You can zoom in. I'm going too much in depth here. Yeah, you can winterize it. Okay. Clear active layer. Okay, I'm going to go into more data. I'll go down a rat hole here. Okay, let's go to the next module. Now that this module starts with the window maximized. So the menu got minimized. So here's how to show the menu again. The board sandbox is a little bit different. It's similar to the board designer, but you're not doing any design here. This is for, well, if you're doing scenario design, this is a good tool to use to do board layout studies, essentially. And it has MMP boards and third-party boards as well. It defaults to MMP geomorphic board, and then the filter logic is or and for these different filters that you can do. So if I just leave it at MMP and geomorphic and I hit, well, there's 96 boards found. So if I hit the button, it'll show them all here. Okay, all the boards. And if you want to start building a board layout for creating an image to export, or you're just tinkering with a scenario design, if you're a designer, you just grab the board, drag it out here. You can zoom, change the zoom a little bit. If I want another board, let's just grab this one. Right, it'll snap. They snap together. You can right click and rotate them. You can put them end to end. I'm doing this really quickly. You can group them, drag them around. Let's add another. Let's put one here. And let's put another one down here. You can rotate. Whoop. You can group them. I think it's Alt G. Yeah, it turns red. Then you can rotate groups. You can add to a group. You can do all kinds of stuff. Okay. Or you can ungroup them. So yeah, they turn back to blue. They're ungrouped. So that's the board layout. You can do studies to, okay. Again, I'm going to go down a rat hole. You can crop the boards. I'll show you how to do all this stuff. You can sort by terrain filter if we want boards with just lumber yards. There's 7 MMP boards with all the lumber yard. There they are. Again, I'll go into more detail on this later. Oh, it's got all the overlays. I've gone off the deep end. You can put overlays on here. That's it. All right. The RSS Podcast. This is where you can go to listen or watch our most recent podcast. And you could hit play.
My CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer.
And you could switch to go to the dice roller or the board designer. And, well, it's still playing. I muted it, but
for people
you could go to the board designer.
Scott and I did
start designing a board and listen to us yak about ASL if you have that inclination. But that's a place to find our podcast. You can also watch it here. So if you click on one, it'll load the video over here. And if you're at some point,
but most guys,
you can switch between and it'll remember where you are
tournament to window. I go to have fun
between them.
If the result
anyway, that's that. Okay, ASL TV. If you're having a hard time tracking all the channels that have ASL videos when they get released, I've done that here. We have 10 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10 channels so far of ASL content creators. And I've done the work of basically gathering it all together and showing you the most recent videos that they've uploaded. Okay. Now, the ASL Academy, the most recent ASL Academy will always be at the top because I have the power to do that and I developed all this. I want to keep the ASL Academy, the most recent ASL Academy video at the top just because I can, I guess. But there are currently between these 10 channels, and these are 10 channels that are ASL only. I know there are some channels that do uh, ASL videos once in a while, but I didn't want to clog this up with their channels and have videos here of them talking about some other game or trying to figure out how to sort or grab just ASL videos from their channels. Okay. So these are channels that are 100% ASL. That's all the channels are about. And here, this side is the most recent videos you can see that these channels have done. And over here are the channels and how many videos. And if you click on it, it'll take you to the channel. And if you're not subscribed to it, it might ask you to subscribe to the channel as well. And you can also do things like search certain channels over certain dates. So if I want to look at my videos from 2023, September 2023, it'll show it. I can sort it here and hit update feed and it'll show over here. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it just gathers up everyone's ASL content. Again, report a bug. I already talked about / feedback for sending me feedback, not bugs, just general feedback. And then some other things that I'm thinking about adding. ASL news, that one could be tough. And then various flowcharts, overrun flowchart, defensive fire flowchart, sniper flowchart, and OBA flowchart. I think those are pretty doable. And then lastly, and this is the most ambitious one, I think, is a random scenario creator or generator. And I've tinkered with it, and it was one of the first things I tinkered with, and it needs a lot of love. But in theory, what I want it to do is you come in here, and there are going to be many more scenario controls than this. You'll be able to pick. They'll be completely random. So it'll go into my database and take like a historical action and try to match up to combatants from that, like German American or whatever. Or you can sort. You can say do it by a year or a theater or nationalities or whatever. Okay. And what it's going to do, and I'm going to try to bake in the basic point value system from Chapter H, at least some version of it, where you can enter maybe basic point values, and it will try to generate a scenario, including who fought, where it was, some kind of flavored text, a map layout based on the terrain in that action and the terrain of the boards in the database, and an order of battle based on basic point value, and it'll go by stuff. Okay, that's the ultimate goal. Whether I will be able to get there with it or how well it will do is yet to be determined. But that's my plan. And I mean, I've got a really generic kind of crappy version of it, sort of kind of working right now. But a lot of things have changed in the ASL Academy command posts with regards to the data set I have for being able to do this sort of thing. For instance, when I first tried this, I'd had no vehicle or gun database. Now I have that completely done. Maybe not the pictures match to the data, but I have all the data and basic point value for every vehicle in the system in a database that I can draw from and now start build that part of it. Infantry is pretty easy to do. I haven't incorporated that yet, but it's pretty easy to do. But a lot of stuff has changed since I first tried this, so I think I can get there. At least it'll give players a starting point, to randomize and generate something if they want to play it. I don't know, maybe this is more of an exercise for me and my geekiness, just screwing around and doing programming and development and ASL all mixed together. But we'll see where this ends up. This will be inaccessible to you for quite some time. I just have it working for me for messing around, but this will be grayed out by the time you see this. Okay, that's it. There's room for more things here. I can jam in more modules somewhere, and like I said, I have plans for the desktop. I don't know what, but I will do deep dives on not all of these, some of these deep dive videos coming in the future. I don't know if people are going to use this. I've learned a lot and had fun working on it and developing it, and I think it's turned out kind of cool. One of my goals, and I think I've mentioned this other times. When I started the website, aslplayers.net, and the YouTube channel, my goal was I think there were two goals. One was to make ASL feel less intimidating to new players and maybe even some current players, right? Make it more accessible. And to try to drag the game, I say this, try to drag the game into the 21st century. People are so fixated on pushing around little pieces of cardboard, right? Pieces of paper with two color, black and some color, right, on these maps. And I'm trying to breathe a little bit of 21st century technology into the game, developing tools like this and the website and the channel to make it look cool for new players, to make it giving people tools, whether it's these online things or hooks into VASL to encourage people to play on VASL, because it's a great way to play VASL, play people from all over the world. Those are my two goals with doing all this stuff, and this is just another one of those things that I hope accomplish that goal. I don't know if it will. I don't know if anyone will use this. If they don't, it doesn't matter. I am a lifelong learner. I learned a lot doing this, and I had a great time doing it, and I'll probably use it. Even just the board designer. Just designing a board this way is easier than the Photoshop method that I was using. And the boards turn out the same. I mean, this board I did in Photoshop, and I recreated it on here, and it looks like nearly identical as far as a basic ASL board design and VASL, to be able to play in VASL or print yourself, or a starting point for a designer, or a starting point to lay out for much higher resolution to be professionally printed. So I know I'll use this quite a bit, and I will use the probably the guns and vehicles to make snippets quite often. I use tables all the time. Scenario generator would be funny. It might be funny and fun and cool when that gets done. But yeah, so that's it for the ASL Academy command post. Hope people find some aspects of it useful and use it. And like I said, give me feedback, and I will do deep dive videos on some of these over on the right at a later date. Until then, Academy out.
Get to the chopper!
If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, thanks for watching, and let me know how I can do better. See you in the next video.